Cancer is a continuously growing global health problem that poses major challenges, most especially in developing countries. Find out how this international distributor of innovative health products came up with a series of solutions to help increase a patient's chance to survive the odds. In 2020, the Philippines hit a record of 354,398 prevalent cancer cases within a 5-year period. But because of poor access to health care, especially for people living below the poverty line, the advances and breakthroughs in cancer remain unattainable to many.
Cancer refers to a group of diseases that's characterized actually by cell growth, abnormal cell growth and proliferation, inflammation, as well as angiogenesis or formation of new blood vessels. It always starts with mutation in the genome or the genetic makeup of a person inside the cell. Before PPARs, most of my patients, they were unable to finish the chemotherapy regimens because of the side effects and because of discomfort during the process of chemotherapy.
Maria's son Dominic was diagnosed with stage 4 rhabdomyosarcoma when he was only 4 years old. While coping with the recovery of her other sick child, Maria found it hard to accept Dominic's condition.
It was actually very devastating kasi with Dominic, it was manifested mga 4 years old na siya. Unlike dun sa daughter ko na congenital talaga, baby pa lang. Yung mga bandang September, meron ng umuumbok-umbok dito sa leeg niya. Hindi ko talagang inisip na cancer kaagad siya until nag-nosebleed siya.
Dominic was prescribed chemotherapy, but his family insisted to rush to an integrative doctor to seek for alternative cure.
Medyo hesitant ako kasi as a mother, I know the side effects ng chemotherapy kasi. So what I did is that I rushed towards the integrative doctor of my daughter, who happened to be PPAR partner doctor of Simply Nature.
One of the hardest decisions to make for people living with cancer is choosing the kind of treatment that would work best. To help patients and their families deal with this growing health problem, one company commits to producing safe, credible, and natural health solutions by drawing on the latest bioscience technology to deliver a series of safe, efficient, and natural products. What is Simply Nature and what does it do?
Simply Nature is a company we created and founded about 10 years ago. Our mission is to find effective health solutions for people. So we provide natural products that work in combination with conventional therapy and medicine.
As an international company that provides natural solutions for cancer, metabolic syndrome, and degenerative diseases, the management upholds a health philosophy that centers on whole food nutrition as the frontier in health management.
When we talk about choosing treatment, especially in the area of cancer, patients are really afraid of chemotherapy because of its side effects, and they tend to then look towards natural products. But this is not a either conventional or natural choice. At Simply Nature, patients can have the best of both worlds. Our protocols work with conventional chemotherapy to minimize its side effects so that they can get the best treatment using both conventional and natural together.
Cancer is like a virus. It continuously evolves, it mutates. So it can develop defenses against our usual treatment modalities like chemotherapy.
Like I said, chemotherapy and radiation therapy have a lot of side effects. So more often than not, patients stop their treatment because of these side effects. It's very important to have the support.
With the supplements that we give the patients, there will be lesser side effects, so they will be able to finish their chemotherapy protocols more comfortably.
This company introduced PPARs, which is touted as one of the best natural ways of solving serious health problems.
PPARs stands for peroxisome proliferator activating receptors. It's basically a nuclear receptor found inside the cells. Now, when these receptors are activated, the benefit that you can get from that is, number one, cellular differentiation. Number two, it's to promote fatty acid metabolism. If you have better insulin function, your blood sugar will naturally go down. And another one is to induce cancer cell death by modulating the immune system.
As a sole distributor of PPARs, the company promotes its use to many reputable health institutions worldwide and actively organizes corporate health conferences and public health talks in Asia.
Simply Nature PPARs is made out of a special strain of these types of microalgae. It is very effective by protecting the bone marrow. We maintain the integrity of the immune system of the patient, which is very important to prevent infections and to fight off the cancer itself. And also, Simply Nature PPARs is also very dense in nutrients so that the patient can recover faster because of better cellular healing.
Sabi ko parang na-lead kami to an extraordinary and I must say amazing journey. I'm very proud of him. At a young age na 8 years old, he believes that it's his purpose to siguro encourage other people then. We would like to really pay it forward with the knowledge that there's really like Simply Nature that can help people with cancer very much.
When fighting cancer, living healthy is very important because it allows us to pursue what is important to us in life, and that's what it's all about. When we can help a patient move from being bedridden to getting up, to be lucid in thought so that they can have conversations with their loved ones, it gives the whole process of fighting cancer a whole new meaning. And that is what drives us at Simply Nature.
In 2019, I was being diagnosed a cancer of my uterus. So I was shocked. Sabi ko, bakit nagkaroon ako ng ganito? Samantalang hindi ako mahilig sa pagkain. I'm sorry, basura. Started the tablet and then the powder.
The powder.
Tinry ko din yung yung tawag dito.
Gel?
Yeah,
Oh,
yung gel.
gel?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really good. After 2 months ng aking therapy and taking PPARs, sabi ni doktora, magpa-laboratory ka na. So, nung nagpa-laboratory na ako, praise God, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, lahat normal. To God be the glory. Salamat sa Diyos. Sa 2 months ko po ng aking pag-take ng PPARs, ako po ay cancer-free.
Napansin ng pedyan niya na maputla compared noong bagong silang kasi monthly na nagpapa-follow up kami. Maputla at saka medyo distended na yung kanyang abdomen. From then, doon kami nag-start ng workup like blood test, ultrasound, hanggang ma-CT scan and ma-work up sa hospital. Doon na na-diagnose na meron siyang stage 3 na yung kanyang tumor sa liver. When she started taking PPARs noong September 25, we decided na i-try at i-monitor siya within a month. So within a month, after 1 month, October 25, blood test and ultrasound kami. And we really thank God na there is a big improvement. For me, it's really a blessing yung PPARs because yung dating alpha fetoprotein niya na tumor marker ng liver cancer, which is 65, it went down to 14. So, almost 4 times yung kanyang binaba na from 65 to 14. At ang kanyang ultrasound din, lumiit din yung kanyang lesion. Before siya nag-take ng PPARs, it was 3.6 by 4 by 3.5 centimeters. After 1 month lang, malaki din para sa amin yung binaba niya na naging 3.1 by 2.8 by 2.7. So almost 1 lahat, yung 1 centimeter, yung 1 centimeter, kahit 1 centimeter lang yun, malaki na yun na pagbabago kasi 1 month pa naman eh. So aside from sa pag-decrease ng kanyang lesion, meron din kasing nakitang nodule sa kanyang spleen that measures 1.7 by 1.9 by 2 centimeters. After 1 month na sa pag-ultrasound niya, it's miracle for us because it's totally gone. It totally disappeared. So we are thankful, forever thankful for leading us to PPARs kasi we believe na ginamit ni Lord yung PPARs to help us na hindi mag-undergo ng surgery yung baby namin.
CA markers.
Mataas siya. Then, nung after 3 months, nung pag-take ko ng Simply Nature, doon, naging normal na siya until now. Kahit si Dr. Johan na gulat siya kasi biglang normal agad in just 3 months, nag-normal agad yung CEA ko. 1 year and 5 months. Cancer-free. Dapat may food supplements kayo. Like Simply Nature na proven and tested ko na. Talagang hindi ako pwedeng mawala ng Simply Nature na yan.
2019, I was being diagnosed a cancer of my uterus. So I was shocked. Sabi ko, bakit nagkaroon ako ng ganito? Samantalang hindi ako mahilig sa pagkain. I'm sorry, basura. Started the tablet and then the powder. Tinry ko din yung yung tawag dito.
Gel?
Yeah, yung gel. Yes. It's really good. After 2 months ng aking therapy and taking PPARs, sabi ni doktora, magpa-laboratory ka na. So, nung nagpa-laboratory na ako, praise God, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, lahat normal. To God be the glory. Salamat sa Diyos. Sa 2 months ko po ng aking pag-take ng PPARs, ako po ay cancer-free.
are getting diagnosed with colorectal cancer are getting younger and younger. And mind you, colorectal cancer is a disease of those who are already in their latter
It
years in
should
their
be
life.
for it's an old people's
cancer.
cancer. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Usually, people with colorectal cancer are already past their middle age, and now we are beginning to see patients who are in their middle age and even younger.
The
who get
statistics are
diagnosed.
very interesting. The next one says that the incidence rate dropped by 2% each year in adults older than 50 years. So there's literally a shift from an old person's disease is starting to become a
Younger,
middle-aged
younger. Yes.
person's disease.
Yes. You know why?
Hi, welcome to Simply Healed again, and today me and Dr. Jansen are back here together. Hi, Doc.
Hello, Shan. Hello, everyone. Happy to be here again with you.
Today we're going to talk about one of the most common cancers that are occurring today, which is colon cancer. And we're just going to give a little bit more in-depth discussion about what colon cancer is, what it looks like for those of you who don't have colon cancer, and how can you elevate your chance of survival. So tonight is a pretty on-the-spot topic focusing on colon cancer, but don't worry. At the end of our very short discussion, which is about 15 to 20 minutes, we will be opening the floor to ask me anything. And you can ask anything, right? Even if you want to ask what's Doc Jansen's favorite Korean dish, right? Yeah, you can. But more importantly, you can ask about any other illnesses that you have, other types of cancer, and questions related to that. So Doc, colon cancer, take it away. Tell us about colon cancer.
Now, first, let me show you what a colonoscopy looks like. Okay?
It looks pretty good. I mean, it looks clean. This is what a healthy colon looks like.
This is what your colon looks like when
Not
the doctor
disgusting
shows
at
that.
all, you know. I usually
Yes,
don't
yes.
like to look inside the human body,
So,
but this looks good.
Yeah, so there should be, it should look like this. This is what normal looks like. Now, the next slide is what colon cancer looks like. Now, this one is a fungating mass, actually with a lot of mucus. To some degree, it also has some pus already. Okay? So, this is quite a big tumor inside the colon. Okay? So, this is what colorectal cancer looks like. Okay? Now, for a little bit of statistics, colon cancer is quite common. It's the third most diagnosed cancer globally. From 2014 through 2018, the incidence actually rose by 1.5% each year for adults younger than 50.
So that means people are getting younger and younger,
Yes.
getting cancer.
People who are getting diagnosed with colorectal cancer are getting younger and younger. And mind you, colorectal cancer is a disease of those who are already in their latter
It
years in
should
their
be
life.
for it's an old people's
cancer.
cancer. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Usually, people with colorectal cancer are already past their middle age, and now we are beginning to see patients who are in their middle age and even younger.
The
who get
statistics are
diagnosed.
very interesting. The next one says that the incidence rate dropped by 2% each year in adults older than 50 years. So there's literally a shift from an old person's disease is starting to become a
Younger,
middle-aged
younger. Yes.
person's disease.
Yes. You know why? As
What?
you get older,
Yes.
you change your lifestyle. You change the food that you eat. to a
That's
healthier
true.
diet.
Number one, your appetite
become-
isn't that good, and you are more aware that you might. I mean, you're
Yes.
going back to heaven
You-
soon, so you take care of yourself.
Yes, people just tend to take care of themselves more better, or they eat food which are a lot healthier. So people tend to become more health conscious when they get older. All right, so yeah, so that's
Something
a
on a
few
more
statistics.
serious note, it's actually the second
Second
leading cause of death in cancer. So
Yeah.
colorectal cancer is one of the major causes for cancer deaths.
Now, let's go to the signs and symptoms of colorectal cancer. Now, the signs and symptoms, as you have read here, are quite non-specific.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's pretty much. It could be anything.
It could be anything.
So don't give
Yes.
yourself a cancer scare.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how do you know that what you are feeling already might already be cancer?
That's
So
important.
it should be a myriad of these signs and symptoms.
That means
Okay?
a combination, not just one.
Okay. So let's say, for example, you are quite constipated, and then when you poop, there's blood. The amount of stool that you are So
that's coming
excreting
out.
is, pencil-like. So it's like a pencil.
Oh, very thin.
Very
It's
thin.
because remember the picture you saw in front. There's an obstruction in your colon, so
Yes.
it's like
pushed
push
through. So that's one of the reasons. And then, of course, you'll have unexplained weight loss, and then you have a family history of colorectal cancer or any other cancer for that matter. Then you begin to consider, what I'm feeling right now might be cancer. So that should prompt a consultation already, especially if you have blood in your stool.
That's always a no-no.
Okay.
Whether or not it's cancer or not, it's time to go and see a doctor so
Yes.
that whatever is troubling you will be addressed. It's not good to have blood in your stool.
Okay. Now, of course, these signs and symptoms, like what I have just mentioned, like the family history, should be interpreted according to risk factors as well, because these signs and symptoms can mean anything. Okay. So let's go to the risk factors. So what are the risk factors for developing colorectal cancer? So these are the risk factors. But let me show you the more notable ones, like chronic inflammatory bowel disease, and especially a low fiber and a high fat diet.
Yeah, Doc, we look at the list. It's quite obvious that nobody needs to be told that if you live a sedentary life, that means you just sit and watch Netflix all day. You're not going to be healthy. And those who smoke and drink alcohol, you know yourself, right? So what I do think, like what Doc you highlighted, is those of us who try to be healthy, we may need some advice on like where to focus our efforts. And it seems here for colorectal cancer, focus your effort on more fiber intake.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So if you take more fiber, that will definitely help.
All right. So here are the things that you should do in order for you to be able to reduce your risk of developing colorectal cancer. So let me emphasize a plant-based diet, just like what Shan said. Okay. So fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes are still the mainstay. Why? Because of the fiber. Now, fiber. Why is fiber so important?
Yeah, that's
why it's always.
And it's not just cancer.
emphasized.
It's got to do with mental health.
Yes.
Everything.
Everything. It has something to do with your gut microbiome.
Mm.
People or humans cannot digest fiber.
Yes.
Okay?
Mm.
We cannot break down fiber. Only the gut bacteria inside your colon can break down fiber. And when the gut bacteria digests the fiber that you have just ate, it produces short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which have the anti-cancer properties, which also increases serotonin. It has a big influence on the neurotransmitters that is secreted by your brain. Makes you feel better overall.
Well, you said a magic word, right? You said an anti-cancer. What is that? Anti-cancer nutrient. And here we are looking to see the latest supplement, looking for the latest anti-cancer substance when our own body makes anti-cancer substance. And you know, right, whatever your body makes is probably designed for you, right? Because it's something of, and all you needed to create this anti-cancer nutrient in your body is fiber. So I hope that helps. So let it be an encouragement to all of us to go more plant-based, and if you eat plants and fruits, take the high fibrous ones, because your body is actually going to use it and produce anti-cancer substances.
Okay, so that's for the diet. Now let's go for the screening.
Okay,
How do we diagnose?
Because age, right?
Yes,
You talk about age.
age.
At what age do we know to go for screening?
Okay.
So, why is screening important first?
Alright, screening is very important because
Yes.
colon cancer is curable if detected early.
There you go,
Okay.
everyone. Cancer is very treatable if you detect it early.
Okay, let me show you the
How
data.
treatable?
Okay, this is the prognosis. Colon cancer is curable if found early. That's why screening is very important. Now, let me show you the overall survival rate of colorectal cancer. So, combining all stages, all types of colorectal cancer, that is 65%. Okay, so this means that 65 out of 100 colorectal cancer patients live after 5 years. Okay? Now, of course, this is combining everyone, right? Now, let's focus on the early stage. The localized stage is 91%. So, 91 out of 100 people who get diagnosed colorectal cancer very early on and get treated survive after 5 years.
So it's a sure bet.
It's a sure bet.
It's a sure bet.
That you live, right?
So screening becomes a very important strategy, guys.
If you get diagnosed with colorectal cancer stage 4 on the outright, okay, then your chances of survival significantly goes down to 15%. Okay, so at what age should you be screened for colorectal cancer? So at 50 years of age. Okay, so this is for individuals who have no family history of colorectal cancer at all. So like me, in my family, we do not have any relatives, family members who developed colorectal cancer. So me, I have to undergo colonoscopy at 50 years of age.
Okay, that'll be for me in 2 years' time.
If you have a family history of colorectal cancer, so let's say for example, your dad, your grandfather died of colorectal cancer, then you should get colonoscopy 10 years earlier than the age when the immediate family member got diagnosed with cancer. So let's say for example, your grandfather got diagnosed with colorectal cancer at 55 years old. So you should get colonoscopy at 45 years old. So that's how we go about it. Now, once you get diagnosed with colorectal cancer, what are the other laboratory tests that we should get? Number one is CEA. So that CEA, or carcinoembryonic antigen, is the biomarker for colorectal cancer. Now, CEA is quite non-specific as well, but more often than not, it tends to get it becomes increased with colorectal cancer. Okay, so this is what oncos use. Now, CEA, just using CEA alone should not be used as a screening tool. Okay?
Okay, that's good advice. No, CEA not a screening tool.
Okay, it's not a screening tool because there are a lot of factors that can increase it. All right? Now, CEA should be used in the context of the diagnosis of colorectal cancer and use it as a treatment response marker.
That means every time you go for your chemotherapy and everything, you want to know how well it's working. You look at the CEA.
Is it going down? All right. So once, okay. So let's say for example, you are someone with colorectal cancer. You are a candidate for surgery. Now, before you undergo surgery, you should get your CEA tested. Okay. Then once you have finished surgery, your CEA should again be tested
to see if the surgery has improved.
Yes, to see if the surgery really removed all of the tumor. Okay, now that is the use of cancer biomarkers. Okay, like CEA. Next is imaging. So we have to stage your cancer. So depending on the stage, the appropriate treatments would be recommended. But more often than not, if you have stage 1 colorectal cancer, best to have it removed, number 1. And number 2, you have to still go for chemotherapy to be sure. Okay? So, what are the treatment modalities that you would expect if you have a colorectal cancer? So, mainstay is still surgery. Okay? So, if you are someone who is trying to seek an onco, let me refer you to my good doctor friend, Dr. Jimmy Catapia. So, Dr. Jimmy Catapia is a surgical oncologist who, manages a lot of colorectal cancer patients. My goodness, and he's actually quite good.
He's very good, actually.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important here. I mean, if you are here in our locality, we can refer you to our doctors. But maybe, one day, Doc, we have to do an episode on how to choose the right doctor as well. I think this is it. Find a doctor that would take the time to explain to you what conditions you are in. And I really, really think as patients, we have the right to ask questions. Why? Because whatever the doctor does, whether it's successful or not successful, we are the ones that feel the pain or feel the joy or feel the treatment, the healing or the sickness. So if you're the one experiencing all the outcomes, I think you have the right to ask the person what's happening to you and why is he doing this to you. So that's my advice, so that you can find doctors that will explain to you, so that you can make your decisions not out of fear and not out of ignorance. You make a decision knowing how to do something on your own as well, to whatever the doctor is doing to you. If you understand what he's doing, you can do other things to work in concert right? To make his treatment even better, and then you will avoid doing things that will clash with his treatment. So that's how I would choose doctors. So Dr. Katapia, Dr. Jimmy is one of those oncological surgeons who understand nutrition, the importance of nutrition, the importance of strengthening the patient between chemotherapy and after surgery. So he will then work with doctors like Dr. Jansen. So that's what you want to find when you assemble your own doctor team when you are treating cancer. So Doc, how would you treat colon cancer?
Again, it's multifaceted. So I approach colorectal cancer in multiple ways. Okay, so number one is to remove the headquarters of the tumor. Okay, if you remove the headquarters, then the tumor burden significantly goes down because the headquarters is not there anymore. Okay, so what we need to, after removing the tumor, what we need to worry about are the microscopic tumors and the recurrence now. So it's one less thing to worry about. So surgery, again, is the mainstay. Number two, natural treatment. Very important. You have to have a high fiber diet. Okay, and not only that, you have
so the natural treatment we're talking about is not like something complicated like lingzi or some Chinese concoction, right?
No.
So the natural treatment is as simple as taking more
Eat
fiber.
more fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. Now, the question is, which of the fruits and vegetables should you be eating? Now, you have to go for a consult. Okay, so I can give you the list. All right. Now, next is chemotherapy. You have to remove all the microscopic cancer cells, okay, circulating around your body. So this chemotherapy, the purpose of it is to reduce the recurrence of the cancer. If the cancer does not come back, then it becomes clinically insignificant. It becomes insignificant to your body because it's so small, right? Why would you worry about something so small, right? So if it's not causing you any symptoms, then there's nothing to worry about, okay?
So again, for everyone, this is not an endorsement of chemotherapy without reservation. We are very well aware of the many side effects of chemotherapy and that patients can actually die from chemotherapy instead of cancer. So it's not that we're ignoring that, but why are we so confident to tell you to look into chemotherapy is because we have protocols, we have extracts that can protect you from the negative side effects of chemotherapy. Hence, you should really look at the benefits of chemotherapy because you don't have to worry so much about the side effects. Just have a consult with Doc Jansen, you'll be able to manage all the side effects. Again, refer to our YouTube specifically on this topic, and that will open up the options.
Chemotherapy, yes, the benefit would, kill the cancer cells. But of course, but how about the healthy cells?
It does hurt it.
Yeah, it will hurt your body, yes. But is there a way wherein we can mitigate that side effect? Protect the bone marrow, protect your immune system, protect the integrity of your body? Yes. Okay? Now, chemotherapy is given in cycles. Why is it given in cycles? It's order for your body to rest.
To recover.
Yeah, to recover. Now, the problem is some patients cannot recover fast enough to receive the next cycle. So
all patients are doing nothing
to
recover.
To recover
in between.
Yeah, in between. Okay, or to recover fast enough to receive the next cycle. My goal for our patients receiving chemotherapy, it's to allow your body to recover faster in order for you to receive the next cycle. Okay, and how do I do that? Food, Simply Nature PPARs. Okay?
And the end result is red blood cell counts and white blood cell counts remain high.
And
that's a very important indicator to your onco.
Right? So next is radiation therapy. But radiation therapy is only reserved for rectal cancer. Okay? Because the bowel is continuously moving. Right? So if you are going to undergo radiation therapy, the target should not be moving. Okay? So radiation therapy is only reserved for rectal cancer because the rectum is fixed. Okay,
got it.
Next is immunotherapy. Like the dostarlimab. So
this is very exciting. I saw the news when it came out.
Yes,
I think it came out in this year.
This year, a few months ago. I think 2 months ago. Yeah, the news about a new drug or new drug therapy for colorectal cancer.
A specific type of colorectal cancer?
Only for colorectal cancer. Actually, dostarlimab is being used for other types of cancer already. Now, colorectal cancer is a new one. Okay, so they tried using dostarlimab for colorectal cancer, and lo and behold, all patients was cured of colorectal
Early
cancer.
stages? Or?
No, these are advanced. These are recurrence. So there you go. These are some of the treatment modalities that you can opt for if you develop colorectal cancer. But please mind you, if it is indicated, please go for it. Okay, if your onco advises you to go for it, please do so. And don't forget to, don't forget the natural treatment. Of course, we have to address the root cause, still the root cause, okay? So, in the approach for cancer treatment, okay, it's not just important to remove the tumors, or it's not just important to remove the old branches or the rotten branches. It's also very important to nurture the tree so that there won't be any more rotten branches. So nurture your body. So that's why natural treatment is also very important here. Okay?
So even though we have dostalimet, you still will need to do some adjustments in terms of supplementation, lifestyle adjustments, dietary awareness on what to eat and what not to eat, so that you can live, you can choose better, live a quality life, and be 100% treated. Our PPAS extract, and not the PPAR agonist, all right? It's actually in the extract itself. So it's not the PPAR agonist, the extract itself. There are components in the combination of phytonutrients and agonists that we are able to promote or increase dendritic cell activity. Dendritic cell activity is the one that actually detects cancer. So one reason why Dr. Jansen's patients who use our protocol is able to see good results with cancer is because your own immune system is actually properly aiming and hitting the right target, right? Because it can detect cancer. So I thought it would seem that with dostalimet and increased dendritic cell activity,
that will work.
Yeah, because not only do you remove the cloaking device, you also make sure your targeting mechanism, your immune system is shooting straight, right?
Yes.
Then
it works well together.
Works
so
well.
sometimes, I experience that, especially when I combine PPAR agonist with chemotherapy, I advise patients to also take PPAR agonist, especially when they're undergoing chemotherapy. My purpose was to mitigate the side effects, but somehow the oncos, hey, your tumors are responding well. There are a lot of shrinkages.
So the treatment works even better because
it works even better. Now we can stop your chemo. Don't have to finish all 8. We can just stop at 6.
So
sometimes we get to
So
see
again,
that.
we say this so often in our program. Don't just go for one approach to cancer. Cancer has to be approached in many angles. If your onco doesn't say that, then let me tell you, even your onco uses many angles. You know why? The chemotherapy drugs that you use, they're seldom, not never, but they're seldom used in isolation. It's often always a cocktail of chemotherapy drugs. So even an onco actually attacks cancer from
different angles.
Yes. We actually have a program on how chemotherapy drugs work on different angles. So search on it on YouTube. And we hope that, I'm going to steal Dr. Jansen's line right now. I hope that you've learned a lot today. All right? That your increased understanding will help you make the right choices in combining different approaches to treating cancer. So don't do it blindly, do it with understanding. And if you have questions, you don't understand clearly, just ask us as we move to our Ask Me Anything. Any last words before we start answering questions?
Nothing anymore for me. I see already a lot of questions coming up on the
Yeah,
screen.
and I stole his line, so I hope you learned a lot today.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sheila. First of all, we would like to say thank you for joining us in another episode of Simply Health webinar brought to you by Simply Nature. Tonight's topic is colon cancer. Elevate your chances of survival. I'm sure that you have learned a lot from our two gentlemen who shared our topic and discussed our topic for tonight. So without further ado, we are now in the Q&A portion, or what we call the AMA, Ask Me Anything portions. Questions are very much welcome. Without further ado, I'd like to call on our CEO of Simply Nature and PPAR's expert from Singapore, Mr. Sean Lin, and of course, our lifestyle medicine doctor, Dr. Jansen Calalan, to answer all of questions. Good evening, Doc. Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So glad to see everybody both on Facebook and on YouTube. And Doc Jansen, always happy to have you with me.
Hello, Sean. Hello, Sheila. Hello, everybody who are watching us right now.
I just want to thank those of you who actually watched us on Monday, because on Monday we had a special session on diabetes because it was World Diabetes Day. And thank you for the very warm responses. So for those of you who missed out on that one, we actually explained what diabetes is. It's not high blood sugar, but really is about insulin insensitivity, or your body's not sensitive to insulin. All right, so for those who came tonight because of Monday, welcome to our program. This is our usual program. And for our YouTube viewers, I just want to give a shout out to Olive Bautista. Thank you for letting us know that you want a consult with Doc Jansen. Rest assured, one of his healthcare specialists will will contact you and arrange a consult. And you are right. Doc Jansen's team actually is like a concierge service, very personal. Beth, who is his healthcare specialist, will be with you throughout your journey, and so will Dr. Jansen. All right, so you're going to be in good hands. All right, so without further ado, Doc, you want to say anything to everyone? Oh, tonight, everybody, just to let you know, our AMA session tonight will have to be, I'm so sorry, but we have to be a little bit shorter tonight. We usually answer questions all the way to 9 p.m., but today Doc Jansen has to be a good fiance. His fiance is in town, so we have to release him at 8:30. So we'll try our best to answer as many questions tonight as possible.
Great. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Doc. All right. To start off the Q&A for tonight, our first question coming from Ms. Olive. Recent treatment under colon cancer, removal part of colon. This is in YouTube, by the way.
Okay.
All right. Chemo and radiation done. Now, most often bloated and seems GERD. Can we have or take antacid Gaviscon?
Gaviscon can help to manage the reflux or the discomfort, or the heartburn. Okay, but we have to address the root cause. Why is it that he is experiencing these symptoms? So we have to ask that very important question. Okay, I need a lot more details to know for sure, and to prescribe the proper medication, because for reflux, okay, for acid reflux disease, there are many factors that can trigger that one. Okay, so number one would be stress. If your body is stressed, even if your mind says that I am not stressed, but you feel uneasy, you feel like you're about to just do something or just be active, then that can be a source of stress. Of course, in your mind, you can also be stressed, and you can feel that hyperacidity or acid reflux. Another one is food. Okay, the more common one will be stress. Okay, next one will be food. So there are a lot of triggers that can there are a lot of foods that can trigger acid reflux. So I need to know the foods that you are eating. So some of them, in general, okay, in general, foods that can trigger reflux would be spicy foods, sodas, coffee can trigger as well. Certain teas, no, but teas would be much less common. Meat products, animal food products, because meat can be more difficult to digest or break down. Okay, another one will be dairy or milk. Okay, so that can cause indigestion as well, such as what you're feeling. Okay, aside from that, another thing that you have to consider is infection or H. pylori.
Oh, H. pylori.
Yes, H. pylori. But H. pylori is the least of the considerations. Okay, but we have to address stress and the food intolerances first before we consider H. pylori. Okay.
So Doc, I'm sure you will be sharing with Olive also what are the better foods to eat so that you don't trigger GERD,
yes,
right?
yes.
And of course, for cancer in general. So I'm excited for you, Olive, for your consultation with Doc Jansen. And just a little bit of a slight good news or humor on the humorous side. One of my business development heads, he is a pure breed carnivore. His name is Emerson. I'm gonna out him in public. All right, he's a pure breed carnivore. Even though we are always talking about plant-based, right? So it's always fun when he goes out to eat with Dr. Jansen, because he's forced to eat purely vegetable meals. All right, and today I told him let's go out for a meal tomorrow, and I was just telling him, hey, you like to eat meat stuff? I know you like to eat meat stuff, right? And he actually said to me, sir, I'm eating more vegetables now. I'm like, huh?
Oh, come on.
What happened? Really? Yeah. You see, Doc Jansen doesn't believe it, all right? He knows Emerson very well. But the reason is, and then Emerson said the next statement, which was quite encouraging. Emerson said to me, sir, I'm feeling like my body's not too good. That means he knows something's not right? And he knows that to solve it without going to drugs and making it more serious, he's eating more vegetables.
Oh.
So, all right. So it's not that he didn't hear the things that you said. He didn't have sufficient pressure
Or pain.
Now that his body is not feeling well, he takes full responsibility. He actually knows what's causing these things. And the most simple way the first thing that you can do to address these issues is stop eating the things that are causing you to feel bad, right? So to our long-time viewers, like, Lily from Malaysia and our other viewers here in Philippines, I hope that attending our programs after so long, when the time comes when you don't feel well, you actually know what to do. Yeah, so next question, Sheila.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Doc. Well, this question was sent to us ahead of time today and privately. The question is there fiber inside the PPARS tablets, or is it just on the cleansing plus?
I can answer this one because I'm the product expert. Yes, the fiber is one of the components inside the PPAR tablets, and the reason, and mainly really for the tablets only, not the extracts. Okay, because the tablet is a plant-based whole food. You're eating the whole microalgae, all right? So it has a high fiber content. It also, just for your information, it has one of the highest chlorophyll content, all right? So if you think you need to eat wheatgrass for chlorophyll, you don't. Once you take PPAR tablets, you don't. And protein content is actually 60%. So for your soya bean, by comparison, is 40% plant protein. Our microalgae is actually 60% plant protein. So it's very high on the protein as well. But of course, because of the quantity that you actually take, it's not going to be your protein replacement unless you eat a lot of tablets, right? But it just goes to show you the nutritional profile. So apart from the vitamins and minerals, a few things that many cancer patients try to look for in other supplements: chlorophyll, right, for antioxidant and blood cleansing effects, right? Very high in chlorophyll. And the question was, it has a good amount of fiber as well. So always remember, when you take your PPAR tablets, make sure you take sufficient water, because the chlorophyll, the fiber, all these, and the vitamins and minerals will trigger your body to do detoxification, which means your body will start to expel all the toxins. And for your toxins to be removed from the body, you got to be sufficiently hydrated, or else the toxin goes back, it's reabsorbed back.
Yep.
So when it's pushed out, it must be flushed out. If it's not flushed out, it will be reabsorbed back by your cells. So drinking sufficient water when you take antioxidants, not only PPAR tablets, but any antioxidants, is definitely a very important part of the strategy.
Thank you. Doc, would you like to add on that?
Okay. For fiber, if you take a look, I always teach my patient this thing. Okay, so how do you know that if a product has sufficiently high enough fiber? Okay, so how do you know? Okay, so I always teach my patients to divide the total carbohydrates by the amount of the fiber.
Oh yes, this is a good tip.
Yes. What you want is any value less than 5. If it's less than 5, then the amount of fiber that the product has is sufficiently high. Now, PPARS tablets has a value of around 3.6, around that value.
Oh.
Cleansing Plus has less than 1. I think it's like 0.6 or 0.4.
So very high in fiber.
It's the fiber content of Cleansing Plus.
So what is the formula again?
Formula is total carbohydrates divided by fiber.
Okay, so if, for example, you look under your nutritional profile, let's say some trail mix or
Yes,
granola
yes,
bar,
yes.
right? So let's say it says 100 what carbohydrates, 100 grams of
100 grams
carbohydrates,
carbohydrates,
but only 10 grams of fiber.
Yeah.
So it's 100 divided by 10, that's equals to 10. So that is actually very low fiber content. So so don't just believe the label that says high in fiber. You gotta go and take a look at the amount of carbohydrates divided by the number of grams of fiber. It should be less than 5. If your math is not so good, we always have a calculator now with our phones, right?
Okay, so remember, the value that you want is less than 5. Okay?
Less
Five
than
or
5.
less. 5 or less.
5 or less.
Okay.
It's really a good tip. Now, most especially to parents that are looking for
Oh yeah, for snacks for
highly
your
nutritious.
children, right?
Exactly,
Sometimes
yeah.
we think some snacks are healthy, turns out not to be.
Not really.
Yeah, we
fooled by marketing.
Yeah, Sheila, you and Beth did like some market survey on like granola bars and
We did.
what's that high fiber bread, which turns out not to be high fiber.
And labeled as super healthy.
Yeah, it's labeled as super healthy, but it's not really. So do your math. Look at the nutritional label. At least now you know what to look for.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. That's it. Okay, and that's a good question. Okay, another private question sent to us. Can ulcer lead to colon cancer?
Not colon not the colon. Wait. Yes, the answer is yes. Okay. Ulcers have different locations along the digestive tract. Now, if the ulcer is located in the stomach, that can lead to gastric cancer. If the ulcer is located in the small intestine, like the duodenum, that can also lead to cancer.
That's
Now,
the H. pylori
Yes.
scare,
Yes.
right? Because my
It's
wife
a-
had H.
yes.
pylori, and the GI specialist was worried that if you don't treat that could.
Yes.
that
It's a
could-
major risk factor.
Mm.
For the colon, it's different, no? Not just a ulcer per se. So for the colon, it's what we call as a ulcerative colitis. Ulcerative colitis is an entirely new, not really new, no, it's an entirely disease in and of itself. It's usually autoimmune in nature. Okay. Now, ulcerative colitis, so by its name itself, no, ulcerative, so ulcers, but multiple ulcers, not just one. Colitis is basically inflamed colon. Okay, so for that you can develop colon cancer from it. Okay, it's also a risk factor. Okay.
Okay, so the thing is, don't ignore ulcers in your
Right.
digestive tract. Okay.
Thank you. Right, and this one is an interesting one. The question is, can accidentally swallowing bubble gums affect my intestine?
That's
It's a very good question.
That's a very practical question. I guess one bubble gum wouldn't be terrible.
One bubblegum won't.
Yeah,
be
but
terrible.
if you like, I mean, I've read, on those like Yahoo News, a kid swallows a whole pack of gum. He just like eats it like candy, chew, then swallow, eat, chew, then swallow, and then it gunked up his
Yes.
his intestinal tract. Yeah, but if you just swallow one, it shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be a problem. Well, I think every kid who have had.
I think in my life I
had
did
to
at least
right?
swallow one bubble gum before.
Yeah, but one or two bubble gums in your lifetime wouldn't
Made a
really hurt.
difference.
It would have you would have expelled it anyway. But what Shad told us a while ago, when a kid swallows a lot, right? So that can block his digestive tract. So that can
Cause complications.
Yeah, that can cause complications, and surgery might be needed.
Yes, Doc, since we are on this topic, and many people in Southeast Asia love bubble tea. So I saw this one where this kid drank like 3 or 4 cups of bubble tea every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So apart from the fact that there's super high sugar level and maybe very hyper and probably borderline diabetic, what happened was that the pearls,
Yes.
the tapioca
Yeah.
pearls, it gunked up his entire
really?
digestive tract. They had to do surgery to remove it.
Then when they opened, it's all tapioca
Yeah,
pearls.
it's all the tapioca
I
pearls.
think that the tapioca pearls might have been fake,
All right.
isn't it?
Yeah. So I guess so all these things. Watch out for your kids. don't give them too much of that. All right. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Doc. Okay, another question. My parents died from colon cancer. Is it hereditary?
There is a type of colon cancer that is hereditary. So that is familial colorectal polyposis. Okay, so that is that can lead to colon cancer, and that is by its name, no, familial. That is hereditary. Okay, so it can. But colon cancer, more often than not, is acquired. Okay?
It's important to note that Dr. Jansen always shares that when one family member in your family gets cancer, that is enough cause for you to be cautious, because a family who lives together eats together and live a similar lifestyle. So if someone in your family has cancer, you are living similar lifestyle to him. So you might have a high chance of also developing cancer. This is apart from the genetic predisposition, right? I mean, if you share the same genes, you are already prone to getting cancer. But again, if you also, because families who live together, eat together, and have the same lifestyle. So if someone before you, older than you, who has lived this lifestyle longer than you, gets cancer, you are likely on the same path as well. So it's a good time to, I'm glad you asked that question. So it's a good time to make some changes.
Okay. So here's another difference, no, between the genetic colon cancer or colorectal polyposis, no, versus the acquired one. Okay. So the familial type of polyposis. So the medical term is familial adenomatous polyposis. Okay. That's the medical term for the hereditary colon cancer. So that is a very rare inherited cancer. Okay. Now, usually, the polyps already appear on an average age of 16 years old, compared to colorectal cancer. Colorectal cancer that is acquired usually appears around the 3rd or 4th decade of life. Okay. So that is a stark difference in terms of the timing. Okay. So take note of that. Okay. And this is really very rare. It's one of the rare cancers in the medical literature. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Doc. Okay, another question. What is the usual scans or lab test that is used to detect colon cancer?
Okay, the definitive diagnostic tool for colorectal cancer is colonoscopy. Okay, then biopsy. Okay, so that is the definitive diagnostic procedure.
So it means that every person who is suspected of colon cancer has to finally end up to do a colonoscopy.
Usually that is the last thing that is used to diagnose. However, it doesn't end there, okay? Because if you are diagnosed with colorectal cancer, we have to know the extent to which it has spread. So CT scan might be needed to know how much to where it has spread already. For the other diagnostic tools, no, for colorectal cancer, that would be your stool samples, okay, like your FIBT, and also blood works. Okay, so a tumor marker called CEA. Okay, so that is a tumor marker for colorectal cancer as well. But mind you, do not rely on the tumor markers, especially those that you get from the blood, to diagnose or to know if you have colorectal cancer, because CEA, there are a lot of things that can cause the increase of CEA, not just colorectal cancer. Okay, and you might not even have colorectal cancer and CEA is elevated just because you have inflammation in the colon. Okay, so it might be a totally benign thing, and you're thinking that it is, it is something malignant or something sinister.
So at the end of the day, go for a colonoscopy before you scare yourself, and a biopsy, right?
Yes, and of course you have to talk to your doctor as well to know which path to take. Okay.
All right. I see a question by Miss Corinne. Sheila, you want to read that one, or should I read it?
It's not really a question. It's actually a statement. Yeah, she's just sharing that colon cancer patient diagnosed 2018, done left colectomy and chemotherapy 2019. Totally changed my lifestyle, but I'm confused. What is the best vegetables and fruits to eat?
if you are already treated,
Yes.
and I think you are already on remission, then any fruits and vegetables that you like would be good. Because for colorectal cancer, the only thing that you need to prevent recurrence is a high fiber diet and calcium. Plant foods that are very high in calcium content are green leafy vegetables, soy milk. Those are the two highest one. Yeah, green leafy vegetables and soy milk.
So so I guess one of her question, another way to look at her question is, are there any fruits and vegetables she should not eat?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
There's none.
So basically, that you don't need to be confused. All fruits and vegetables are good for you, for your condition. But if you can, try to take fruits and vegetables that are higher in fiber content. Doc, as a rule of thumb, how would you know if this vegetable has high fiber content? Is it a rule or general rule of thumb that green leafy vegetables have higher fiber content, or is that or you can't really tell? You really have to do a bit of research on it.
That's a very good question. Okay, here's how I would approach things. If it is a whole plant food, then remember the formula that I gave you a while ago: total carbohydrate divided by fiber. Okay, that rule don't apply to whole plant foods, because whole plant foods would fit that one immediately. Majority of them. Okay, but not all, no, because some fruits would have less fiber content than others. Whole grains as well. There will be whole grains which have less fiber compared to others. However, since they are still whole foods, whole plant foods, then if you eat them, it is still beneficial. And if you combine them with other plant foods which have a higher fiber content, that will balance each other out. Okay? So for whole plant foods, I wouldn't use the formula. I would rather approach things this way. What are the foods that you are eating? Okay, so you need to have these 4 food groups: fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. Legumes are beans, nuts, and seeds, or anything that grows out of a pot. So that's the only way. So very simple, right? So you need to just focus on those 4. However, if you are buying things from the supermarket, like it's already pre-processed or it's already processed, right? Like your bread. Right, so that's the time that you use the formula total carbohydrates to divide by fiber. Okay, that's the only time. However, sometimes we still get to see values higher than 5, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to put it back on the shelf immediately, because if you combine that with whole foods, then it's still acceptable to eat. I mean, like wheat bread won't fit that less than 5 criteria. No wheat bread will fit that.
Oh, so actually wheat bread is not high fiber?
It's not.
Oh wow,
Wheat
we've
bread
been
is not, okay?
misunderstanding. Because we see it's brown, it's not white, so it must be healthier.
It's like you're eating paper.
Okay.
Okay, so there's no wheat bread that will fit that.
But it's still better than white bread.
Yes, it is still better than white bread. So the question now is this: what foods will you now combine with wheat bread to eat in order to increase the fiber content of the meat?
Oh, put fresh tomatoes, lettuce, then the fiber content goes.
So don't be too how do you call this? Don't be too strict or too don't see things as like black and white. Okay, no.
Be a more. I guess the word is not to be too relaxed. It's about think deeper. There is a deeper strategy, right? Yeah, you take this one. Not enough fiber, but you take one which is very high in fiber, you put it together like in a sandwich, and you get a good. Doc, I have this one that has always been on my mind, because my aunt died from stomach cancer, and my sister and I were just having a conversation. Because she's very fit, and she takes good care of her body, right? And she got into this habit of eating. There was a trend in Singapore where you had oatmeal, rolled oats, raw and cooked. Then you soak it in milk. You put it in the fridge.
Overnight.
Oats. Okay.
Yeah, and then many times you cut like mangoes and whatever fruits and you put it together. Okay. My sister and I tried that for a while. It actually tastes good. It tastes like oatmeal, but I stopped I stopped because there was something in my mind that bothered me. Are these oats clean? That's another reason why I don't take chia seeds, even though they are very healthy. Because we don't cook the chia seeds, we just soak them in water. But I know our modern day agricultural processes, the oats are sprayed with pesticides, insecticides, which all these pesticides and insecticides, they break down once you heat them. So I was very concerned that I was eating raw oats. Because, you know, if you soak it in milk like Sheila, what you said, right? You don't wash it first.
Yep.
You don't wash it first. Then I'm just thinking the dust, you know, it comes out of the factory, it shoots out of the harvester. They don't wash it either. So I was wondering, because so my aunt really ate that for years. And then it's not only her. I found out my sister was talking to some of her friends who have the same practice. In general, they have GI problems. That means discomfort, and not because they take it once in a while, because they do this for like more than a year or two. So I don't know whether there's any conclusive advice, but I'm just thinking, you know, when we eat all these raw oats and we don't get to wash them, are they clean? Are they clean?
The standard manufacturing process.
Yeah, because they will go through like conveyor belts. I don't know how the air in the factory, whether it's very dusty. And because we don't heat it, right?
Well, for me, we have to really know how the manufacturers make.
That's the problem. No matter what they say, we can't really believe.
We can't really know. But here's the thing: with your who is it again?
My aunt.
Your aunt. For your aunt who died of gastric cancer, I would first look at other things.
Okay.
Because if she is a health buff, and for gastric cancer, usually the number one reason, aside from H. pylori, that causes gastric cancer are food irritants. Food irritants like your spices, your chili, chili, preserved vegetables like your kimchi.
Oh yeah, she does eat a lot of these kimchi things. Because it's a fat again, because everybody says it's healthy, right?
Everybody says it's healthy. So here's a trivia, okay? In Korea, the number one cause of death is not heart disease. It is cancer. What type of cancer? It's gastric and colorectal cancer. That's the number one
in Korea.
Cause of death. Yes, in Korea. Now, I was actually wondering why is it so? It's actually because of their kimchi consumption. Because
very high in nitrates, is it?
Yeah, very high in nitrates, and since it's spicy, it irritates the gastric lining. Once the gastric lining is irritated, then that is the time that you increase your risk of getting it wounded. So if it's wounded, then you have an ulcer. Okay.
And then the ulcer, if you keep irritating an ulcer, it could develop into cancer.
Okay. So I would first look at things. So if your aunt is
yes, I do remember. I think she takes a lot of kimchi because it's the fat, you know. What hula wave is it? What do you call it? Korean K-pop wave, right? We like everything Korean. Yeah.
So with this, because kimchi usually non-Koreans, right? If they really want to, if they are really fond of kimchi, usually these are the health buffs as well, because they think that kimchi is healthy because of the probiotics. But unfortunately, even with the probiotics, since it's a gastric irritant, yes, you might get a healthier colon, but your stomach, you'll irritate your stomach.
Okay, but you know what is very enlightening? What you mentioned, that their major cause of death is colorectal and stomach cancer.
Yes.
So I guess that's a very simple conclusion to draw, right? And they also eat a lot of barbecue stuff as well.
Yes. So red meat.
Yeah. Doc, we only have 5 minutes, so I see some questions which I'm sure the viewers really want answered. Things like from Catalino. I'm sure he's dying to know the answer. Is hemorrhoids a precursor to rectal cancer? So probably someone around him has hemorrhoids and is probably a bit panicking right now. So can you give a short answer to that?
It's not. Okay, don't mistake it for that. Hemorrhoids are just blood vessels in that area of your body which have been inflamed. Hemorrhoids, the most common reason for hemorrhoids is constipation. Okay? But hemorrhoids will not lead to cancer. It's your constipation that might be associated with an increase in colorectal cancer rate, because if you're constipated, then you might not be eating a high fiber diet. Okay, and the low fiber, if you are consuming, if your consumption of fiber is quite low, then you increase your risk of getting colorectal cancer. Okay.
So for Catalino, I think that's good news for your friend or your family member who is asking this question. So number one, if the person has hemorrhoids now, he can sleep at peace. He's not going to have cancer because of the hemorrhoids. However, because he has hemorrhoids, he probably has constipation problems. That is a good early warning sign to do something about it, so that the constipation or the reason for constipation doesn't lead to cancer. But I think at this moment, he can rest assured that his hemorrhoids will not become cancer. All right? Yeah. So okay, that's good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Jan. I'm sure we do have a lot of other questions that are coming in and still coming in. But don't worry, guys. For those questions who were not able to be answered tonight, we'll get in touch with you. We'll ask that to Doctor, of course, to Dr. Jansen as well. Okay. But I also can see a question about how to get a consult or how to be consulted by Dr. Jansen. Please, the link, should you wish to be consulted by Doc Jansen Calalan, the link is on.
What happened?
Your internet, sir.
All right, I think Sheila is choppy. So let me take over now so that we are able to answer some questions as much as we can. Okay, so I see one by Borja, Mr. Borja, I think, or yeah, I think so. Is probiotic drink good for the colon?
Yes.
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 But
yes, there's a but.
But Yakult is not enough probiotics for you, all right? So there is actually like medical grade in the sense that it's prescribed by doctors. Those that are prescribed by doctors are the ones.
Better ones, yes.
And you will know because the price is quite different. You know, a Yakult in Philippines is pretty cheap. I think 20, 30 pesos, something like that. But if you go to any of the food supplement like Healthy Options and things like that, if you buy a probiotic supplement, like let's say for a month, it's usually 1,000 over pesos or more. Okay, so there is a very vast difference in quality and quantity of probiotics. So if in general you're just drinking probiotic drinks like Yakult, no, it's not going to be really enough.
Yeah, and it also depends on which the probiotics to where it was combined with. Okay, so for those drinks those probiotic drinks that we typically see in the supermarket, those are usually combined with dairy and they are very high in sugar. Okay, dairy is bad for the colon. Okay, you should humans are not designed to digest the milk of another species. Okay, no.
So Doc, sorry, just to interject here, dairy is bad. What is yogurt?
It's dairy.
Oh, so yogurt is also dairy.
Yes, it's a fermented dairy.
Okay, is yogurt less harmful, or is okay if you have to take one or the other, which would you choose? If you had to drink milk or drink yogurt, which one would you choose?
I'd rather drink yogurt.
Okay, so but both are not
healthy.
Not healthy.
Not
okay.
healthy. Yes, both are just as bad.
Okay, but yogurt is less bad.
Yes,
all right.
because of the probiotics. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at the questions. Hi, good evening, Nancy. All right, we have hit 8:30. So we did share in the beginning of the program. We're so sorry today. Normally our Q&A goes all the way to 9 p.m. and you can ask us anything. We answer from breast cancer to coughs and whatever questions that you may have. And tonight we were able to answer some really good questions. I hope we gave peace of mind to quite a few of the viewers who asked specifically some questions. A few of them were wondering if they're going to get colon cancer, and I think that all the answers have been negative. That means, hemorrhoids does not mean that you're going to have colon cancer. So I hope that we have given some peace to some people today. And again, very interesting, very important tip that Doc Jansen gave today was that when you buy processed food, which is basically anything you go to 7-Eleven or supermarket to buy, look at the nutritional content, carbohydrates divided by the fiber. So for example, 100 grams of carbohydrates and 10 grams of fiber. You divide your carbohydrates by the fiber. If that number is higher than 5, so if it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that means that food is not high fiber. So in my example of 100 grams of carbohydrate and only 10 grams of fiber, if you divide that, that's 10. So that food that you're eating, that's not high fiber. And surprisingly, wheat bread is actually not high fiber. It doesn't fulfill this criteria. Yet, the label on the wheat bread is high fiber bread, right? But it doesn't meet up to the standard. So I think that's a really good tip for everybody tonight. Thank you, Lily, for your encouragement. Last question, I think. Can a colon cancer patient in remission eat yogurt?
No.
Oh,
no.
Very direct
No,
answer.
Okay, because again, dairy will promote tumor growth. So if you're in remission and you continue to eat dairy products, that will recur. Okay, you increase your chances of recurrence.
All right.
Be careful.
Yes. And we have an episode, I think it was last week or the week before, where we actually talk about recurrence. Many cancer patients actually have recurrence on the 10th year, 15th year, 20th year. This is important because many cancer patients now are 30 years old, and most of us will live, those of us who are alive today, we will probably live to 80 and above. All right? So that means your cancer will come back within your lifetime, even if you, so it's something worth thinking about. Again, the question here, can a colon cancer patient in remission eat yogurt? Doc, I mean, let's just be realistic, okay? If I don't drink dairy, but I want to treat myself, I want to feel like life is worth living, okay? And then I walk and I see Lau Lau, which is a very famous European frozen yogurt store. If I take like one frozen yogurt dessert once every, let's say, 2 weeks, is that like going to cause my chances of getting cancer to really skyrocket?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh wow, really? It's still a yes?
Yes,
I was hoping
yes.
for a no.
No.
What about once a month?
Once a month might be okay, but depends on how much you eat.
Okay. So I think that's a good enough answer. There's hope. You can. Okay, you can just really make it like a treat, right? Like.
But here's the thing, you know.
Okay.
If you eat yogurt or these foods that are, you know, that I always say that's prohibited for cancer patients, you have to combine that with fiber.
Okay, so that's one thing that you can tell yourself, right? The day that you eat yogurt, make sure you take lots
of
maybe you ate lots of vegetables before, and then you go for your dessert, which is your yogurt, right? So I think this is a very useful tip. Instead of banning every joy in your life,
yes.
Okay, when you're gonna take that joy, you do something to reduce the risk, all right? So that they eat a lot of have a high fiber lunch or dinner, then follow up by a frozen yogurt dessert. So in a way, you can do something to really make it less harmful.
Yeah.
All right.
What I always tell my patients, okay, if you're going to that wedding, you're going to that party, okay, drink your cleansing plus first. Then you go eat what you want. Then tomorrow you poop.
Yeah, and then after that, live healthily for the next week. All right. Yeah. So I think thank you, Doc, for that final advice. I think this health knowledge that we get, you know, one way of using it is not to ban everything in our life, all right? But I would say, you know, for the first 3 years in remission, try to live as clean as possible. The longer you can do that, the less chance that you get your cancer will come back in the rest of your life, right? So if you wait if you wait 4 years to eat yogurt, you probably can, make it all the way to the end of your life without the cancer coming back. If you only wait 6 months before you start eating your frozen yogurt and ice cream again, it's very high chance that it's coming back. And recurrence is not a low percentage, just for cancer patients to take note. If you do nothing, if you just live like a normal life back again without any changes, some statistics so that you are aware, breast cancer has a recurrence rate of, on average, 30%. And ovarian cancer is 80%. 80%. If you don't do anything, there's an 80% chance, 80% of the patients actually have recurrence within 5 years. So I think that's enough reason for us to really change our lifestyle. Okay, Doc Jansen has to fulfill his obligation to win the Fiancé of the Year award this year. Alright, so we have to let him go tonight. Okay, but I hope everybody enjoyed themselves today. We promise you next week we will go until 9:15. Okay, answer more questions. We always enjoy all these questions that you ask, and we are very motivated to do this because many patients tell us that they are not able to ask questions to their own doctors for one reason or another, and that this segment is literally the most helpful thing they can experience from any health talk, because they are able to ask a doctor, and also I also ask questions on the viewers' behalf. All right, so that's my parting words. Stay healthy, and I'll see you guys next week for a full session of AMA. Doc?
Yeah. So I just want to thank everyone for attending this webinar today. For those of you who we weren't able to answer the questions, the team is going to take them down and we're going to ask them again next week. So next week, please be there so we can answer the questions that weren't answered. Okay. So yep. Again, thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Oops, next week, November 24, 7:30 as well, cancer imaging, taking action.
Oh, since Sheila is saying this is very interesting one, okay? Is this the one that you showed how to...
Yes, on what the cancers look like.
Okay, this one is very short, the front part, so don't be late next week. The front part is only like 15 minutes, right? And then we go straight into AMA. But that one is quite interesting because Doc will flash up what a colon CT scan looks like, yes. And then one which has cancer, what does it look like?
What the doctors see.
Honestly, when I looked at it, I couldn't tell the difference in some of the scans until Doc Jansen pointed out, okay, you see here the difference over here? So I think that will be quite a fun exercise or fun experience for even our regular viewers. And it's a bit like it's like, those games where you look to see the difference and I can't see the difference, right? So again, this is why you need your doctors, right? And what is nice if you can ask your doctor to point out where is the cancer, okay? And why do you see cancer where I don't see it? Sometimes we just our doctor say the cancer is there. Actually, we don't see anything, and we're like, okay, I see it. We pretend to see it, but we don't. Yeah. So I think it'll be fun next week. So don't miss next week. Again, don't be late because the part is only 15 minutes, and then we go into Ask Me Anything.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Very interesting topic this week, and of course next week. We really hope to see you once again. We will answer the questions that weren't answered today. Okay, so see you next week because here in Simply Nature, we are always with you from start to healing. Thank you, everyone. Good night, and God bless you all.